Okay. Hello good peoples and welcome back to the Legend of Grimrock 2, and also the Legend of I Have Forgotten an Item in the previous area a second time. I won't always be going back for items, but in this case it's one that I'm particularly interested in. Also I'm just going to grab the horned fruit on the way. Horned fruit is the favourite food of insectoids. Strength +1. That's another terrible roll. I'm doing good on mutation rolls. On Nosferatu, favourite food rolls so far have both been complete duds. In this case, I believe I missed something in the twig root tunnels. Something that I'd be quite interested in getting. Let's just check our map. We'll go down a level. Yep. This corner up here is where I'm going to. So what are the things I wanted to cover along the way? In particular, I wanted to point out that I was ignoring all of the equipment that the Undead Crusaders dropped other than the axe. There's a good reason for that. It's all cursed. I'll show it off when I find some of it. The thing that I missed is near the Philosopher's Stone puzzle. I'm not sure if that's it, but that's something I did definitely miss. This is why you actually pay attention to the map when you're playing. Right. I can't recall how to get back in there. There must be another entrance that I'm forgetting about. Right, it's that one. I can't actually take this staircase anymore. I'm good at the game, can you tell? I know what I'm doing. I've definitely played this game more than once. Where does that come out? That tunnel is down there, southeast of the shrine. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to go back for every single secret in the game because, quite frankly, that would be ridiculous. There's 70-something of them. But I am going to get ones if they're particularly relevant to my build or they're otherwise quite interesting. This one more falls under the latter. It is useful, but it's more interesting than necessary, as it were. And I have to recall where the Philosopher's Stone puzzle was. That's the one where we slid that block around. First, let's just check out that area that I hadn't actually completed on the map. Oh. Yeah, this is probably just something that was containing an enemy that I unleashed. That said, there's still a warg alive in there, which implies I can get in there somehow. That's the bunny. That is not the bunny. That is a rogue vest. Now the rogue vest is protection +5, dexterity +1. That's protection almost worthy of light armor, yet it's not light armor. Also, plus dex. Azanaka can have that. It was him, or actually, what am I talking about? Nosferatu can have that. Sorry, Azanaka. You'll probably get it as a hand-me-down once I get Nosferatu into light armors. Both of them can actually make use of their dexterity. Technically, Aino can as well, and I'm thinking more of putting some points into accuracy for her when I get around to it. Where is that? Oh! It's in the Move Quickly room. Second verse, same as the first. Ouch. That was mean. Just because I am coming in here to kill you doesn't mean you have to bite. There we go. Right. Plus, this looks right because I remember pushing it through a grate. Just quickly work our way down there. I can still hear rats. Just how much stuff did I miss while I was exploring down here? Yeah, that's it. Now it was... If I picked it up and I just forgot about it, I'm going to be very annoyed. Oh my god, I gave it to Nosferatu instead of... Welp. let's just go. I also don't know why I can hear it rattling, and I don't care enough to find out. This is what I was thinking of, I forgot it. It's lockpicks, they're incredibly useful. It's bread, that's useful. It's a compass, that would be very useful if I was playing in old school mode and didn't have a map. That is actually an optional mode you can enable. There's a few optional modes. Old school mode, you don't get an auto map. Single use healing crystals, which is much what it sounds like, and can only save at healing crystals. And if you combine the two latter rules, you get what's called the Insane Iron Man challenge, and there's an achievement for completing that. I already have done that. It was less difficult than you'd think. Anyway, I had more equipment than I could carry, so I buried some of it right between the two lanterns in eastern Twigroot Forest. Here we are in Twigroot Forest in the east. Here's a couple of lanterns. Here's a spot exactly between them. And here's the lockpicks for them. This is the Tome of Leadership. When used, you gain the Party Leader trait. Other party members receive +1 bonus to all attributes as long as the party leader is alive. Now, this is an interesting one. I have to decide which of my team is the least likely to die. Aino and Nosferatu are very much frontliners. Aino is going to have a lot of survivability. Azanaka has actually taken the least damage of anyone so far. Zimboy, he has come near to death more times than I can count. It's not him. I'm going to give it to Aino, if only because I don't think anyone would disagree when a Minotaur says which direction you're going. Anyway, here we are back in the actual Forgotten... I must have missed so many lockpicks. Anyway, here we are back in the Forgotten River and meet the Crowworm. Not much to Crowworms, as you can see, they are flying enemies. And that's honestly about it as far as distinguishing features go. They do leap onto the next tile when they attack, which has some relevance. I've always had too much sense to do it, but if I'd cast Fire Burst while I was facing a tile, it would explode in my face. This also applies if a Crowworm leaps onto your tile while you're attacking. So if I were to cast a spell on it mid-attack, it would blow me up. Please stop biting me. They're not tremendously durable. There's a lot of them around here. I've somehow managed to aggro all of them at once. Ow, ow, ow. Into the water. I'll explain water in a bit when there's not Crowworms trying to eat me. Ow. As you can see, they don't even hit particularly hard. There we go. Now where'd my... I know I missed a shuriken that went flying off in this direction. There it is. Right, the water. Actually, please check the sign. This just tells us what direction things are. North of us is Sleet Island, west is Twigroot Forest, and south is Keelbreach Bog. And there's another bloody Crowworm. The flying ultimately doesn't mean anything much. It's just they're not going to fall in the water or pits in the event that we actually find some. There's a tortoise. Okay, I guess it's a turtle, but it's got feet. It's definitely a tortoise. Water. Let's jump in. There's fish. You can catch the fish. That's a nice, easy source of food. We'll just keep an eye on our energy meter here. Eventually that's going to start running down. As you can see, Aino ran out of breath much faster. She only has 29 energy, compared to, say, the 186 that Zimboy has to work with. Energy doubles up as your oxygen meter. When it runs out, you start taking health damage. That's about it as far as water goes. Also, we can only get out via ladders. And with a keen eye and a sharp aim, they entered. Oh yeah, the other very important thing about water, you can't attack while you're in the water. But that sign was a hint. There's a pressure plate over there. Pretty straightforward as they go. In fact, that doesn't even count as a secret. The Shrine of Entanglement. When we step on one of these plates, all adjacent gates alter their position. And we've got some shooters on the wall there. Oh, boots. Who needs boots? Leather boots are protection +4. It's rather better than +1 from the sandals. When you press this button, they shoot, and there's receivers there. As you can see, they dinged against the gate. So it's a pretty straightforward puzzle. We've got to alter the gates in such a way that the shot can get through. All down. Well, that one isn't, but it doesn't block the shot, so it's okay. That temporarily turns that wind gate off. Actually, just for the sake of experiment. It just teleports you back, you can't get through. Just keeping my eyes open because I can't recall everything around here. Oh, it's not very secret. And there's another lockpick chest. I must have missed so many lockpicks. Hey look, secret button in the secret button area. What did that unlock? Oh! This gate on a timer. And here's an actually more secret. Does this ring of rocks look familiar? If it does, then you might recognize it from the Viper Roots fight. That's how we summoned it in the first place. Also black moss. That's the next alchemical ingredient. It's mostly used to make bombs and also resurrection potions. We're not going to be able to do anything with it for a bit. Do I want to tackle this? I'm going to, but I am going to save first because this is potentially a very difficult encounter. Same as the Viper Roots fight, we use Aina's Horn of Summoning. And the rocks themselves come alive and try to punch us to death. Oh my god, it broke Aino's arm on the first swing. As you can see, they have a lot of health. I am fighting this very early, and there's 4 of them. Zimboy is going to be the only one who can do any sort of damage. That just broke Nosferatu's ankles. Don't know why it hit her ankles, but okay. Critical damage, 1. That about sums up how well this is going to go. Yeah. I'm thinking I might have tackled this a little earlier than you meant to. So, I'm going to be a terrible person. I'm going to load my save and say, let's come back here later, maybe. We're a little early to be tackling the Sunstone's optional boss fight. So hey, if you want to count that as our first party wipe, because if I'd kept fighting it wouldn't necessarily have been a party wipe, but it would have been an incredibly long, protracted, and uninteresting fight. So I'm using my magical time manipulation powers and saying that never happened. Still, it's a good guide. You've got to be cautious and... right. Forgot that was on the timer. Still, let's make a note. The wire of my microphone is in the way. My microphone? Headphones. I haven't got a microphone. You can tell by the fact that my microphone quality in my laptop is terrible. Either way, let's continue onward to wargs are a little more our speed when it comes to enemies. Come on. Oh, and if you missed my explanation, the reason I do the spinning thing is because if enemies see your flank, they're more likely to advance. Getting a little burdened down with food here. Easiest way to solve that is to put it inside somebody. Let's pretend I phrase that in literally any other way. I didn't even intend to say... That's odd. For no reason I'm certain of, this is counting as an occupied tile. I'm going to assume that's some sort of graphical bug. Arrows! A short bow. If we use missile weapons, this will be a very welcome upgrade from the sling. We don't use missile weapons, so it's irrelevant. Oh, okay. Well, I don't blame you for running when Zimboy attacks. I'm not going to be avoiding firearms on Azanaka forever. I've just got something else in mind. Also, I've really got to conserve ammo on him. This would lead to Keelbreach Bog. That probably is the next major area we're going to, but I'm going to leave off on that for a little bit. Also, this gate, I missed how to open this for so long the first time I played the game. Because I am blind as a bat, and it's a big enormous button right there, right next to us. Still counts as a secret because the game likes mocking me. And more lockpicks because, again, the game likes mocking me. I'm going to have to look up where all the lockpicks are. I'm sure I've missed some by this point. If we bring up our map, we can see I've just actually walked across to the other bank of the Forgotten River. Hello. Meet the locals. Throw shurikens at them. I should probably move that to a different location because I keep blowing the battle horn when I mean to just click my weapon. Do you want to hand that sack over so that I can actually store more food? I've got a sack full of turtle and now I'm starting on my sack full of wolf. Like I said, food not an issue. But hey, we're at the base of that enormous castle. Hello! You gonna let us in? No. Now, you might recall something that one of the shrines said. They said that fire is associated with the northwest. Well, this is the northwest one, and as you notice, it's got the elemental rune of fire on it. And judging by the ethereal hum we get when we place it, that probably seems correct. So, there you have it. We're going to find the 4 elements, we're going to make their essences, and we're going to presumably enter this castle and give the Island Master what for. There we have something of a sort of a goal now, and the rest of it is just going to be wandering around the island searching for where all these things are. Oh, I forgot about you. Ow. Come on. Don't just camp. I know you're not gone. This guy hasn't these haven't gotten any tougher since we faced them as a boss originally. Thank you, Azanaka. Oh, wargs. Thank you, Azanaka. That also counts as occupied. I should point out, I have got this turned on to the lowest graphical settings cause bad computer. Lost Pride again, Vitality +1. She's rolled Vitality every single level. Yeah, I have got it turned down to the lowest graphical settings because I've got a bad computer and also I'm trying to stream. We give her a point in dodge, and she gains the Uncanny Speed trait. She gains 10% faster cooldowns and everything, which is nice. Firearms Master. He'll never jam. He'll still miss every bloody shot, but he won't jam. And another point in Fire Magic for Zimboy. Which, in keeping with my I'm not going to pretend I don't know the spells, meet Zimboy's new spell. As soon as I actually have... There we go. Fireball! It's like fire, but from far away. I've noticed I do tend to lag in outside areas. In particular, I'm lagging hard whenever I look at that. There we go. More offerings for the sack of wolf. This is just another. This is the next one of the golden key locks. That's the nectar branch wand. Spoilers, I'm probably not going to bother with that one. There's alternate uses for golden keys besides just unlocking those. The nectar branch wand is an upgrade for Zimboy, but just not a big one. Anyway, welcome to the hub. Keelbreach Bog, Cemetery, Hamlet of Stormbreach, and Shipwreck Beach. This is a teleporter hub. This is our fast travel system around the island. The one for Shipwreck Beach is open by default, and it physically connects to the outside of Sleet Island. But otherwise, we're going to have to find areas to unlock these. In the meantime, it's just a quick route back there if we wanted to go back there for some reason. Just have a quick look around. I don't think there's anything much, except for some of the lockpicks I was complaining about not having. This is why you look around. Some gloves for Ano, because you can definitely fit gloves over a Minotaur's hands. And onwards. More firepower I am never going to object to. A warhammer, which is substantially nicer and less decayed and probably cursed. And this opens up a nice easy route across the river, so we don't have to do the whole looping around going through the area where I got into the fight with Summonstone's bit. Now, I'm still not sure how much sound you can hear on the stream, but there's the same humming that the power gems make. There's one of them on the opposite side of that wall. There's it on a stick. You can have some cheese. Ooh, the Shrine of Pain. Now, this is less dangerous than it looks. If you pay attention, it's actually going in the same pattern. It's going sort of a looping S, inverted S shape. So it's going to go to here and then back again. Which means if I wait here, I'm safe and I can wait for it to catch up to me and skip ahead. Walking onto the tile it's on. Uh-oh. Ow. I forgot there wasn't actually a safe spot beyond there. Notice Zimboy is a little prone to getting killed by these because of his lack of HP. Okay, we should probably have a plan before we step into there, shouldn't we? This is definitely the right spot to be. And so is this in the inverse. Which opens up this. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm hopeful my little trap only broke a few bones and you're still able to proceed in your heroic journey. I told you the Island Master is a dick. He's less directly a dick than the Trickster is throwing rocks at us. By the way, also the game devs are dicks. There's a tiny hidden button just there. And this is what I'm going to use my lockpicks on. Because in here is the Bear Claw Gauntlet. Strength plus 4. That's Ano's first amazing upgrade she's going to get. Ano now has 31 strength. She hits like a truck full of bricks in a landslide. When she hits. 53. That's more than Azanaka did with his critical. Oh, and it's actually caught fire because now that Zimboy has enough fire skill. Ow. It's not having a good day. It did not have a good day. And that just opens up so that I can get away from this very noisy Shrine of Pain. And this is one of our multiple possible routes forward into Sleet Island, the next area to the north. I am going to be going there very briefly. I'm intending to do Keelbreach Bog as the next major area. Sleet Island is like this area, the Forgotten River. It's not an area proper in that there's only 1 or 2 power gems, there's no major dungeons. It's essentially just a connecting hub for other areas. But as you can see, there is no land connection over to where that power gem is. But there is a ladder just there. Just gotta watch out for turtles, because like I said, you can't actually attack while you're in the water. Oop. A tattered cloak. That can go to Aino, because Nosferatu has one. Reed gauntlets. Unfortunately, Aino already has her amazing bear claws. Once I have light armor, this is going to be an excellent item for Nosferatu. Power gem. And yes, like I said, let's go grab some things from Sleet Island. There's a chest over there. I'll go and grab that in a minute. I'm intending to do as much of Keelbreach Bog today as I can. Oh, that was the Island Master, and he was doing something with this tree. He left us a couple of bits of paper. Please find the attached map of the island useful. I'd like to point out a few key locations to get you accustomed to your new home, though I'm afraid your stay on the island will be brief. My pets are awfully hungry as always. If you glance north, you should see the Great Pyramid of Uelmus over the treetops. That's that pyramid over there. You can't actually see me point to the screen, so here's my mouse. And in west you can find the ruins of Desarune, a huge dungeon I've repurposed just for you. Beyond Desarune there are even older places, but you don't need to concern yourself with them because the challenges ahead will be way over your head. Finally, in the east you can find the burial grounds, where some very interesting characters are buried. It's up to you to decide which one of those locations will be your grave. If I went to any of them, they would be my grave. They're all a little over-leveled for me. Ruins of Desarune is the lowest level, but I'd rather tackle something else first. And anyway, here's the map that he said was attached. This is pretty much what Sleet Island is. You may recognise that's the same kind of building that we found that had the Shrine of Fire in it. However, let's see, there isn't actually a way to get there directly. We are going to find out how to get there, but that's another one of my I know how, but I'm not actually going to tell anybody, because I don't know in-game. Hold your breath. This is gonna hurt. Are you holding your breath? You probably shouldn't be, especially if you're underwater and you don't actually have a choice about it. You may notice there's a skull in there. That's quite relevant to Aino. This would be easier if we were later in the game and had more energy. I think I might just be able to pull this off. I'd still rather people not die. There we go. Stave off drowning by drinking water. Oh, that was close. Nearly had our first death. I'm going to go back to the healing crystal. There's another thing I want here, but I'd rather be healed first. Anyway, we got a skull. Aino is going to be holding on to these because Aino, as a Minotaur, has access to the Headhunter perk. And the Headhunter perk gives you +1 strength for every skull you're carrying. As such, this skull effectively has negative weight for her, as well as making her hit things harder. Actually, what am I talking about? I don't need to go to a healing crystal, I can just sleep. That's quicker. Also, it might be day when I wake up and I'll actually be able to see what I'm doing. There we go. It can be a very pretty game. Like I said, I am playing on the lowest possible graphical settings. There would be some very lovely shadows if I was playing on higher. Oop. I think I saw one down there. There we are, there's Zarktons in the water. Again, I cannot attack while I'm in the water. I do not want to get into a fight with Zarkton when I can't fight back. I especially don't want to get cornered. Hey look, a gun. But it's attached to a teleporter. That's the meanest gotcha. Normally getting yourself in the corner is bad, but it beats being surrounded on all 4 sides by mummies. I'll show off this gun in a second, once I'm not being beaten to death by mummies with their own arms. We have upgraded a little bit since the last time we fought mummies. And it shows. Alright, that's the meanest gotcha trick the game has to offer, I think. Anyway, Asanaka's new gun, let's compare. This one does 7 to 21 with a cooldown of 6 seconds. This one does 17 to 52 with a cooldown of 6 seconds. It's better in every possible metric. It's just a shame the game jumps you. Mind and matter. Let's leave that for the moment. Like I said, I'm going to do Keelbreach Bog first. I could poke around Sleet Island and do quite a bit at the moment, because this is where the game has opened up to non-linearity. There's not really going to be a set order you have to do things, or even that you're meant to do things. I'm just doing them in the order that I think is the most logical and the easiest progression of enemies. The first time I did the game, I entered the Ruins of Desarum first. I hadn't even found my way down here, and I didn't know about Keelbreach Bog. It worked out eventually. I should have just taken the bridge, shouldn't I? But we made it anyway. Oh yes, and there's that chest I was going to pick up. Yep, there's a turtle. Oh! And another skull. There are, I think, 8 skulls in the game. So we can have a sack of turtle, a sack of meat, a wolf, and a sack of skull. Aino is going to be carrying a lot of sacks. Let's see if we can demonstrate a thing. Actually, did you see that? There's a lever under there. But like ever, I do not want to get cornered. Especially not when I'm underwater. Quickly checking the map, because I've got to get out, because I can't breathe underwater and I am drowning. Let's grab that crate and get out. In it is a golden key, a pair of leather trousers, and a torch, which presumably is so waterlogged it will never work in a million years. But it does for some reason, because magic. Now, there's a thing I did actually skip over. I mentioned I wasn't going to use a golden key for the Nectar Branch 1 because there's better alternatives. And that better alternative that I'm talking about is right here. The cache. Let's explore and first let's turn the lights on. Do you hear rats? I hear rats. Yes, there are... Why are you being so awkward to hit? 59, that's an improvement. A miss, that's the same as ever. Those ratlings have guns. You still have too much HP. Ow, ow, ow. Their guns can't jam, their guns aren't miserable failures of weapons. Come on. As you can see, get the timing right and you can get chain stuns on people, assuming you don't miss. This is one of the reasons I think that... Oh dear, there's more. One of the reasons I think that dual wielding is good. Oh look, a rat swarm. Rat swarms are interesting. You can't hit them with missile weapons, it just goes over them. Also, they don't attack from the next tile, they run onto your tile and bite your ankles. Fortunately, that does make them pretty easy. Also, don't hit that hard. What was I going to say? Yes, dual wielding is generally considered kind of mediocre. The reason is, enemies, many of them, have armor, which applies a direct reduction to the damage you do per hit. So dealing more hits but with less damage actually results in significantly less damage. The rogues get a reduced penalty for dual wielding, which helps a bit. But I think it's useful because of that staggering effect. You can chain the staggers and ultimately reduce the damage you take. Anyways, you might have noticed there are 4 golden key doors around here, and one of the ratlings did drop a golden key. So what you're meant to do is pick one item which you'll be taking as your reward. One set of items you'll be taking as your reward, essentially. But since all the golden keys are interchangeable, by passing up the Nectar Branch wand, I can open 2 of these. should I wish to. So, I'm going to choose the Snake Charms cache. Instantly, nothing in this cache can't be found elsewhere in the game, so you're not missing anything. You're just getting them early. Because what I'm getting here is a rope, which is useful. Scroll of Poison Shield, I can't use it because it's Earth Magic. And the Serpent Bracer, which provides protection +2 and a near total immunity to poison +50. Well, half resistance at least. Let's see, the Paladin's cache, that's mostly useless for us. The Conjurer's cache. This is the big reason I'd say to pass with the Nectar Branch Wand. The Orb of Radiance is better. It's right next to it. And it also comes with the Archmage's Mantle. This very fancy pair of pants is going to our resident wizard boy. It gives him protection +3, willpower +1, and resist all +10. So that's so much better an alternative to the Nectar Branch Wand. The Nectar Branch Wand only gives willpower +1, I think. Additionally, the Orb of Radiance actually has a little bonus that I keep forgetting about. It counts as having the light spell cast all the time. He'll not need to cast it anymore, he's essentially got an infinite torch in his hands, so long as he's holding it. Another annoying note from the Armor Master. Are you getting frustrated yet? Does an undefeatable foe stand in your way? It says stand on your way. A finish. Can't make heads nor tails of one of my devious riddles? Want to go explore somewhere else for a while and seek new challenges? See if it clears your mind a bit. Perhaps you'll find magical artifacts to help in your quest, or encounter a beast that clears your head right off. My bet is on the latter. As annoying as that is, that's basically the game saying it's non-linear, you can go somewhere else. But this is where I want to be. So, Keelbreach Bog. It is possibly the least enticing place I have seen on the entire island. It's filled with this thick, horrible green fog. There's mushrooms everywhere. If you're from Florida, it probably feels like home. So, let's go on with... Ooh. Don't let the rocks fall short of their target. If the wind gate catches us, teleports us, and I'll just show off what happens if you do this wrong, because it's amusing to me. Yep, it teleports everything, including the rocks. That rock that I threw hit Azanaka in the back. Whoops. And now, Zinboy. I've got to time my throw so that it goes in time with the wind gates. And opens this up. I suspect we're about to meet our first of the enemies of the Keelbreach Bog. You've always got access to where you throw things, just in case you accidentally threw a quest item because you're an idiot. You're never able to lose an item by throwing it, as far as I'm aware. Oh, there we are. Meet the mosquitoes. They're exactly what you'd expect. They're extremely fast, they're hard to hit, but they don't have a lot of HP if you do manage to land a blow. They're also weak to fire. And spells can't miss. Also notice they do a lot of damage very quickly. Holy crap, that nearly got a no. Dying to mosquitoes would have been an embarrassing first loss. Yeah, this is an unpleasant place, like I said. Welcome to the Elemental Shrine of Earth, going by the symbols. I'm not going to check all of them because they all say essentially the same thing. This is the Shrine of Earth, Earth associated with whatever. Where? Bring forth 4 power gems. Here's the important part. Firebirds, without a 5th element there would be none, as the 4 elements would cancel each other out. The 5th element is hidden somewhere on this island. Seek it and you may gain illumination. Well, that was explicit. Yes, there is a 5th element somewhere on the island as well. That one is rather less obvious. I am the right eye. I saw where the meteor fell. This is also a hint towards one of the most devious things the game has to hide. So we'll just make a note. The right eye rests there, and continue onwards through the bog. Little drops like this aren't a problem. It's only when you fall down to a new level of the map that it actually hurts you. Now this area is significant. Oh, well, good chance to show it off. Just make sure I'm not getting flanked. That's a herder. They're from the original Grimrock as well. They're essentially mushroom men. This area looks like it smells revolting. Herders really aren't a threat in any way. Oh. You might have noticed something fast running around there. Meet a baby herder. Oh. For some reason they're more dangerous than the adults, they're fast. Ah. And meet a adult herder. We got the whole family here. Yeah, they go through a weird middle phase of being undangerous, sort of shambling mushrooms. The adult herder is significantly more dangerous, and I'm not going to let it attack because it's annoying. If it gets on a tile adjacent to us, it will cast a poison cloud. This will poison us as long as we're in it, and also it will stick about forever. Not literally forever, but it feels like it. Which is why I'm not giving it the opportunity. They can create a lot of area denial, which is a problem if you encounter them in groups. Fortunately, this one lumbered in last. As you can see, they're also significantly more durable than the others. Not flammable though, they're a bit damp for that. There we go. Also herder caps, we are going to eat the mushroom men. I am running out of space for food. Except my stomach. Now, is this the place I'm thinking of? No, it's not. Hey, a battle axe. How does this compare? 10 to 30 versus 9 to 27. But it's also a lot slower to swing. I don't think I'm going to use it. A map and a key. Something in my brain just started screaming that there's something on the walls around here. That's something you've got to get used to, is recognizing the different secret buttons for each area. There we are. Intuition helps me. We had an iron bassinet, which is a heavy helmet I'm not going to bother picking up because it's very heavy, and an anti-venom, which in a place like this I'm sure you can agree looks like a useful thing. Also the pickaxe, which confuses me. Oh right, it was only in the first Grimrock that Orb Radiance did that. Yeah, the pickaxe is a -5 accuracy, strength scaling light weapon. You can't actually use it as a tool like you can the shovel. As far as I can tell, it's solely there for the sake of having a bit of realism, basically. Just this is how the tunnels got carved out. There were real mines, and then the herders overwhelmed them. I'm going to save again because I know what's beyond here. The magical advantages of forethought and I nearly said foreplay, of having played before. That thing in the fog is not going to be fun to deal with. So let's go deal with it. That is a herder nest. Oh god, it spews poison. This is essentially a race. These things are going to spew out herders as long as we're in here. And we've been poisoned. You can handle it for now. If I don't rush, this area can become immovable with herders. Oh. So just full speed race to track all these down. Ow. Also they spew out poison clouds around them. I'm pretty much going to have to soak up some poison damage. This can be a complete cluster of a fight. Fortunately I knew it was coming, and I know that in this case rushing is the only option. Oh dear. As you can see, there's already enough mushrooms that moving is a problem. Especially when some of them have ranged attacks. Basically, take out the children quickly because they've got the ranged attacks, and after that you can just kite the others around. Stop spitting on me. And yes, you could draw this fight out if you wanted more experience. Oh, Zimboy. See, as much shit as I give Azanaka for his tendency to miss or jam his gun, I will say we're only alive because he's been making potions. So with that said, let's replace some of those potions that I chewed up. You see, the poison isn't too bad. Aino got poisoned, but her massive resistance meant she recovered from it quickly. Now does everyone have a potion? Stop following me. Aino hits hard. Damn things. So yes, the poison clouds that, there we go, that they heard dens, nests, whatever you want to call them. The ones that they produce, it's the same ones that these guys do. Whoops. So it's just a bit of cleanup after the fight. It's not a difficult fight, it's just one that you've really got to rush before everything gets too out of control. Come on. Oh yeah, and they cover all the spaces around them when they do it. Or at least they're very good at predicting which space you're going to be in, even if you try to juke past them. There we go. Now, I say that the fight can get terrible. In particular, I'm talking about there was a herder over here. I actually rushed to that one quite quickly because the first time I played, this one is... Come on. It's a bit out of the way compared to the others, and the only approach to it is along this single tile. If you let this one live, it will fill up the area and you'll have to single file the enemies out, wearing them each down. That was why it was so difficult for me when I first played. And we find more of the legend of Kilhagen. You may recall we first heard about him on the beach. He was a captain who washed up here, lost his sword, stuff like that. With his ship lost and his crew perished, Kilhagen had ceased to be a pilot. Alone, hopeless and utterly lost, he almost ended his life at that spot. But then came the rage, and with it a new purpose for his existence: revenge. We find ourselves a sack, which just has some very basic ingredients, and the potion for a transmuter potion. You need alchemy level 4, mudwort, and falconskaya. I will, in time, be showing that off on Azanaka. It's one of the funniest things in the game. It'll be worth it. Someone else can carry some food because Aino's inventory is getting full. And even if she has terrible strength, Nosferatus are rattling and they get a bonus towards how much they can carry. There is actually enough ammunition scattered about the game that firearms are viable. You've just got to sort of be a bit cautious with it early on in particular. Sacks for the sack god. And the hub key. I mentioned previously that the wind gates had to be opened. That's what uses it. Suddenly I run out of inventory space even with all the sacks. There's a surprising amount of ammunition down here. Just quickly comb the area. The game is quite generous on the whole, and a third skull. Aino's collection goes aplenty. She can carry 142 kilograms now because she's too strong. She has, what is it, 34 strength at the moment. That's only going to get higher. Aino is going to end up ridiculously strong with the way I'm building her. And once she gets points in accuracy, she'll actually be able to use that strength for things other than being a pack mule. Oh, sorry, Azanaka. Azanaka does have the trait fast metabolism, which means he goes through his food quicker. It also means he recovers his HP faster from injury. Now, the mine key we found should go here. And does. This puzzle. Rune Master's Trial. Well, that looks like a fireball, doesn't it? One of these. What would happen if we weighed down the switches in such a way that it matched that? It would switch to a new spell, which I'm going to pretend I don't know the runes for yet. This is one of the most infamous puzzles in the game because it's more or less a non-optional puzzle. You are going to have to solve this, but it's so out of the way, people forget it exists. They might not even know the combinations in many cases. Also a shield. I should have remembered that earlier. That one's for Aino. Today is the day of Aino getting all the gifts instead of Nosferatu. Shields just give you an evasion bonus. If you're a knight, I think it is, you get a double bonus from them. And as we continue on through the horrible swamp, we burn some mosquitoes, and we contemplate. Oh my god! Meet the toad. Toads are fun. They've got a couple of tricks. See if we can bait them into doing them. There we go. They can make a knight's move to get behind you and disorient you. It'll probably show off its other trick. What did you just... Come on, show off your other trick. Oh, he did actually. Notice Azanaka is not holding a gun. It just ate Azanaka's gun. Fortunately, you do get it back when they die. And they drop toad tongues. What? Oh my god. That's Aino's shield, you jerk. They drop what might be the worst food in the game. Well, not in terms of actual quality as food, it's good, but... Zimboy just ate a toad's tongue. I should also point out that tongue weighed 2.1 kilograms. Zimboy just ate 2 kilograms of tongue. In one go. Yeah. That's probably the grossest food in terms of, oh god, why are we eating this? It's that or the baked maggot. Even if lizard on the stick is the funniest. Otherwise, toads aren't bad. They can catch you off guard. Oh, there goes one of Nosferatu's daggers. You can sort of notice there, and you probably noticed before, enemies can turn and run away if they get low enough in HP. Keelbreach Bog isn't ultimately like the other areas in that there isn't one unified underground area like the Twigroot Tunnels was. Underneath, there's essentially it's an area with multiple sort of subdivided bits. Oh, Nosferatu leveled up and got dexterity. Nosferatu is the most amazing mutator I have ever seen. She has rolled nothing but useful stats. Ah! Meet the Mimic. Yeah. I keep getting my trains of thought interrupted because stuff keeps happening. Like every game ever, mimics are terrifying and surprisingly tough. I think this is a special level of scary looking mimics. Right. The fact that I was caught so off guard should tell you, these aren't set or predetermined in any way. What chests will be a mimic is randomized per game, or rather it's based on how many chests you've opened up to that point, and there's some sort of formula, but I've never bothered learning it. I'm going to give Aino another point in armors. Let's get it towards wearing heavy armors. Nosferatu can have another point in light weapons. Zimboy can get 3rd rank in concentration, which is in the meditation trait. Meditation means that while he's resting, he'll regenerate energy faster, which is handy because he's getting so much now we'd have to sleep a very long time. And Azanaka can finally start putting points in alchemy, now that he's mastered how to not have his gun jam. There's some lockpicks which you were intended to use as a hint towards that sign, other than the fact it says underneath. What was I talking about before I got bitten by a chest? I genuinely can't remember. It was something about Nosferatu. Or about how scummy this... No, it was about the design of Keelbreach Bog. Keelbreach Bog doesn't have a unified underground area in the same way that Twigroot Tunnels was. Instead, we're just sort of going to be bumbling about these various sub-areas. He and they are more concerned with who are allowed to enter than who are left out. That's a very obtuse bit of lore. Oh hey look, a power gem just sitting in the open. How completely non-suspicious. Well, I guess there really was nothing. JK, it's Zarktons. Also, I apologise for saying JK, I don't know what came over me. On the one hand, it's a lot of Zarktons, on the other hand, they're Zarktons. That said, I'd rather not get overwhelmed, and I just got overwhelmed. I'm a fool. I'm going to try and fight my way out through this one. And hope that I found a ladder that'll do. Surprisingly enough, I think the waters in here are safe. I'll just weigh that down. I shouldn't have used that potion, but it was the first thing I could find. And that opens this. Oh my good god! That is the fastest I've found 2 mimics in quick succession. Like I said, there's some sort of formula. You know, if you've seen one mimic, you can work out where all of them are. I don't know what it is. But they only start appearing after a certain number of chests, so you're not going to bump into them in the super early game when there'd be suicide to fight one. I should really... Oh my god. I don't even know what he injured, but let's not take the chance to find out. You might have noticed I was only doing 1 damage with Nosferatu. Like I said, enemies, some of them have armor. I think mimics count as armored. Should really sort my inventory out sometime. Really, dude? Yeah, you may have noticed I took a wind gate over here. The enemies can take the wind gates too if they walk. Oh! I just telefragged one. The enemies can take the wind gates as well. And seems the Zarktons managed to stumble its way into it. Stop that. Yeah, you don't want to get surrounded by anything, but Zarktons just aren't that threatening, really. Though this is a lot of them. Nope. There's enough that I've actually run out of energy twice over on Zimboy. Okay, with that little bit of unpleasantness out of the way, I am 99% sure I found the clue that says something about the 4 silent watchers surrounding the treasure. Remember, there are 4 of these talking heads which have fallen over. And as they are silently watching this spot, please don't be a mimic. There's nothing much in here. It's the Threlm shield. The Threlm set that I found originally does form a set. It's plus energy, it's light armor. It's not great, to be honest. Her read set's better. But it's just another little bit of treasure. And another little bit of black moss. Let's see, I am 1 power gem shy of making the essence of Earth and finishing up Keelbreach Bog. As you can see, I've actually missed great chunks of it. There's going to be a lot more to do here. I'm getting turned around. That's one problem I have with wing gates. I really badly lose my sense of direction when I step through one. That grate is one that we are never going to get to move because that marks the end of the world. Oh. Notice there's a bit of a ledge here. If I drop down, I wouldn't actually be able to get to that ladder. I'm going to have to jump in from over here. Surprisingly enough, this water is not infested with enemies, unlike the waters of the Forgotten River and Sleet Island. Even the toads don't want to be in that water. God damn it. Also, I really have to rank up Zimboy's air magic. His damage against the Zarktons was pitiful. we go. Another toad tongue, that's going to be somebody's lunch. When we're desperate enough. I'm honestly not sure what this puzzle is. It's called Reflexes. When you pull a switch, the switches immediately adjacent to it change. I believe the puzzle is to have them all facing the same direction. But it's not a great puzzle, to be honest. It's, if nothing else, it's tremendously easy because pulling these ones alters those two, but pulling a side one only alters these. Only alters the ones on that side. So it's a fairly simple matter to get this one facing down, this one facing down. Now I can pull them all at once. That was the wrong order to do it, but you could honestly stumble into that puzzle without even realizing it is a puzzle. Still, what we have found is our access to the hub. And because my inventory is getting incredibly full, now is an excellent opportunity to remember, because this can be accessed from anywhere in the world, it makes the best possible dumping spot. Oops. I think I'd say the toad tongue. The best possible dumping spot for any gear that you have, but you just don't want to be holding on to at that exact moment. There's nothing much down here. It's essentially just the end of the world in water form. Okay, that is actually our 4th power gem, so if we wanted to, we could just head on over to the Shrine of Earth and finish up the Keelbreach Bog. Venom Edge, what is that? 5 to 15 plus Dex, 3 to 10 plus Dex. That's actually a better dagger. If she had Earth Magic, she would also be able to use it to cast a Poison Bolt spell. But she doesn't have Earth Magic because I'm not building her as the worst build in existence, which is any build which in any way involves Earth Magic. So even though I am going to do more stuff here, I'm just going to use my power gems at the moment to clear my inventory up. Flashy, flashy! There we go. Last thing I'm going to check out, this conspicuously empty spot in the middle of my map. Oops. It's around here somewhere. There. You can see there's actually a space there, and you can just make out there's some bushes. As an act, can you hit it from there? You can. Because there is actually a button hidden behind some breakable bushes there, which leads to this. The Shaman's Cloak. The Shaman's Cloak is evasion -2, energy +30. So sorry to the Spider Silk Cloak, but that is very much Zimboy's cloak of choice for the moment. He's actually got the evasion perk, which means that he's still got +3 evasion, I think. For all the good that does, considering that the 28 evasion Nosferatu has doesn't seem to be helping her out. Okay, have I actually cleared the place out now? I might have done? My memory is a little rusty around here. That's the spot where the Mimic jumped me. That's nothing much. I think we are. There was one thing else that I wanted to do, and I'm just trying to remember what it was. Oh, damn it. I just had this idea of the one last thing I wanted to do in the area, or at least up in Forgotten River, and it's gone and slipped my mind. Somebody had one more... Oh, that's right. That map we found. This image. Now, if you're going to be very observant, you'll notice it doesn't correspond to anywhere. There is no place with a bridge and the rock and the such like. But for those who are very deductive, this is where should be a bridge, which has subsequently collapsed. This is a very old map. This corresponds to what the place would have looked like back when the map was drawn. these two rocks in the L that form an L formation with that spot. The tree's just there, the general shape of the bank as well, and where a bridge should be. This is a treasure map to this exact spot. And of course it's locked, and I actually do have some lockpicks. We get ourselves some very mature cheese, giving me vitality +1 Nosferatu. I don't know what RNG god you pleased, but thank you. Some shurikens and some reed boots for Ano. Most excellent. Do the hand-me-down shuffle, the sandals. Atanaka, I think you're finally getting some... Oh no, you've already got shoes. Goodbye sandals, you served me well. I send you to your watery grave. Still, that's a complete area done. We got ourselves a lot of very nice upgrades. Ano is really rolling now. Zimboy's starting to get some stuff. Atanaka can fire a gun that's worth a damn. And he's starting to get some alchemy. I'd say we've made some excellent progress here. So I'm going to call it. Thank you all so very much for joining me. Next time we're going to continue on. We're going to explore Sleet Island. Probably going to go into the ruins of Deseroon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.